What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, your girl is here to bring you my latest video in my Must Have Must Gag series. This is my series I created inspired by Samantha Marsh's Will I Buy It series. I just have her series and the community playlist linked down below, as well as all the Instagram pages I follow to get all of this makeup knowledge. And lastly, but certainly not least, I always have all of the items listed and linked down below. If you are interested in using any of those links, just know that 9 times out of 10, they are going to be affiliated links. If you do shop through them, I appreciate it. Otherwise, no big deal. I did record this look. This look should be coming up later this week, and it is me filming with the Odin's Eye collection. I received it last night, and I had to kind of mentally figure out my filming schedule, and I'm just very, very excited for this week's uploads. I will have done another community post where I listed all of the uploads that I intend to get up this week. So check out my community tab in the event that you are interested. That way you can know kind of what day to come back to my channel in the event that you are not getting the notifications because you have not clicked that bell. I would appreciate if you click that bell and of course subscribe, as well as of course give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it ultimately. I think that is it. I am filming this on Friday. Let me make that known. So in the event that I don't talk about something, that's probably why. But without further ado, let me scoot over, let me pull up my saved folder, and let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so I am extremely excited per usual. I did pick up some things this week. So I made one perfume order this week. I had to. It was a really expensive perfume that was 50% off, and it was one that I just loved the evolution of it throughout the day, and it was so good. That was definitely an unexpected purchase, but I'm okay with that. And then I also did just go ahead and make the order for Haus Labs. So many of you guys were really actually intrigued with me to do a review, and I honestly wasn't expecting it. I was expecting you guys to pick something else that I could kind of push back purchasing, but you guys were really into it, and I figured if it's going to be worthwhile for me buying the products and doing the video, it would probably be best if I pick it up on launch. So I did pick it up on the day, and I did actually receive a notification today that my product shipped. So let's see when it's going to be available. So its estimated delivery date is actually tomorrow. I'm gonna be here tomorrow, so if it really does come tomorrow, which is Saturday for me, then I will do like an emergency filming, and I will put this Odin's Eye on hold or something like that. Somehow, some way, I will squeeze in that video next week. I may have to shift around my current filming schedule, but that's okay. That's something that I think is really important for you guys to see, and maybe I'll just upload quite a bit next week. So I think those are all the updates. I didn't officially say it, so I'm gonna officially say it. Although I am not sticking with that 3 purchases for the next 3 months, I am still in a low buy, so I'll be keeping that in mind when I am judging this new makeup. And so if I seem overly harsh, that's probably why. Okay, I think this is where I left off last week, so let's just get into it. Clé de Peau is coming out with some new products, and these are in their Luminous Face Enhancer range. It's apparently coming to Asia and Japan on the 21st of July. Otherwise, it's kind of to be known when it'll be coming, like, I guess, in North America. I do appreciate the range. It looks like it's a halfway decent range. I don't know what they look like in person, but there are 6 shades split into 2 different finishes. One that is a soft type for a delicate shine, and then one that is intense for an extra pop of shine. I'm not interested. This is way too expensive for me. I don't mind. It's really interesting. I don't mind getting something that's luxury or niche, which is stupid expensive in the perfume world. But when it comes to makeup, I just really set my limits on the amount of luxury brands that I'm willing to purchase from. And you guys will be seeing that later on today, I have a couple of luxury brands I'm talking about. Here's another luxury brand. This is from Chanel Beauty, and this is their Less Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch. It is $67 USD. That is way too expensive. I'm sure this is not even medium coverage. This is a lightweight gel texture composed of approximately 60% water for a unique cooling sensation. So you're paying for 40% of pigment. It just doesn't seem worth it. The range looks nice. The range looks nice, okay? I will say that. But I mean, I guess I would have to see if there's any coverage, but I just don't see me picking this up. Chanel is available at Ulta though, so I could see me using my Ulta points to pick it up, but I just, at the end of the day, I really don't see me picking that up, period. Disney is doing a collaboration with Wet n Wild, and this is for Stitch. Okay, y'all. Lilo and Stitch were my people, okay? To the point where up until like middle school, if not even high school, I was still impersonating Stitch's voice to irritate my friends and to make me laugh. It was a vibe. It was a whole vibe, okay? And so they're coming out with a sponge and scrub set of face palette, a setting mist, an eyeshadow palette, a makeup bag, and lip oil, brush set, eyeliner set, and waterproof mascara. Now, what I could see me doing, oh, and there's eyeliners. I don't think I said that because it wasn't listed, but there are eyeliners. I could see me getting things that are actually going to be useful, like a sponge, like a spray, stuff like that. I don't do waterproof mascaras, and I don't think I would be intrigued by any of those lip shades. They just don't look perfect. The brushes don't look the best either. And the liners don't look unique. The face palette I doubt would work with me. I could see me picking up that the makeup bag though. And although the eyeshadow palette looks cute, it's not cute enough for me to pull the trigger. Now, where I would buy this, I would only buy this if it's available at CVS, because I've been getting a mad amount of CVS discounts on makeup, specifically Wet n Wild. So if this happens to drop at my local CVS and you know I see it and I can get it for like no money at all, I would pick this up. But like I said, I would only pick up things that are actually going to be useful and I actually will get my money's worth. So pretty much just the sponges and the setting spray, and maybe the bag. The bag may just have to jump into that cart. I mean, the bag is only $9.43. What do you want from me? Okay, so we'll see. That's not a done deal, but I'm interested. I'm looking for it. ABH is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette, and this is their, what is the name of it? Nouveau Palette. So it features their mattes and multi-dimensional metallics in a mix of everyday neutrals, pops of color, and a fresh green color story. This is 12 super pigmented shades, almost 200% more of every shade than their original palettes. It is a creamy blendable formula for the natural to glam looks. So this palette reminds me so much of the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. They have the same vibes, not the same color story, but just the types of looks that I feel I would be able to create, and the variety of occasions that I think I could be able to use that product. It just seems nice. Now, this is going to be available on June 13th on their website. I'm not ordering from ABH's website. That's not happening. But if this comes to Ulta, and I do intend to use my Ulta points to make an order eventually during these 3 months, then what I may do is throw this in the cart. This is something that I definitely think I could get use out of, and I think a lot of people are underestimating Liberty, which is like that greeny shade. It's like a greeny brown. Those are my favorite shades, and those with the different other mattes are intriguing. The only disappointing fact is that Muse is a shimmer, so you're not going to be able to really deepen out your outer V's all that much because it's a shimmer. And I mean, personally, for me at least, I don't really like to have that type of product put in my outer V. So you know what, I just talked myself out of this. as much as it reminds me of that palette, I already have that palette and I am going to get use out of it. This one, I don't want to use a shimmer to deepen out my outer V. So I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass. Isn't how funny life goes. I did not think I was going to pass on that one. Okay, Lawless is coming out with their Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. And this is in the scent Cherry Vanilla. So this is an overnight lip plumping line smoothing treatment that supports natural collagen production for lips that look bigger and better with continued use. And this is $21. I think this is cute. For me, I'm sure this would help. I don't have the most wrinkly lips, but I do have wrinkles in my lips, which I feel are just normal and natural. So I think for me, I'm going to pass. I do have quite a bit of the Lineage sleeping mask to still go through. I have the one that's currently in my project pan, and I also have the one that my friend from work gave to me. So I have a lot of like lip products, and then I also have like their lip balm in my top drawer. So it just doesn't seem the right thing for me to do, but I am intrigued to see if people do pick this up, if it actually does work for them. So Danessa Myricks is sneak peeking the fact that she is coming out with another new innovative formula and a new product in general. And this was only sneak peeked 4 days ago, but I am anticipating doing my full face of Danessa Myricks like this week. So I may push that back because I do want to see what this is, and if it is something, because I don't have a lot of powder products from her. I don't even know if I have any powder products from her. So it might be worth it to wait till this comes into Sephora or somewhere and to scoop her up. So I'm extremely intrigued, and I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to push back my Danessa Myricks video, and I'm going to put the Haus Labs video in that place. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, mental note. Fix that on your community post link. Okay, so next is a sneak peek from Kylie. I actually have two collections to talk about, so let's start with this one. And this is her lip and cheek blushes are coming soon. So a lot of people stopped kind of purchasing from Kylie Cosmetics if they weren't like avid fans of her and the Kardashians, because they found that her products, as well as KKW, when that beauty brand was still a thing, were manufactured in ColourPop's warehouse. So to them, it just did not make any sense to go to a higher end product that is manufactured in the same machinery, same formulas, all of that jazz. So I'm intrigued. I don't think ColourPop has a product that looks like this in this type of packaging. So maybe this is something unique to her. I don't really know. Typically when it comes to Kylie Cosmetics, unless it's in Ulta, I just don't pick it up. I made one order from the brand's website. It wasn't terrible, but also the products weren't die hard enough for me to make an order from an individual website again. So I don't see that happening, but yeah, food for thought. And then also she's doing another BFF collaboration. I'm confused. I thought she already did a BFF collaboration. Not saying you can only have one best friend. No, but I'm just honestly confused. I don't know a lot about these people's lives. I just don't I don't have the brain capacity or the time, honestly, to invest in learning more about other people's lives that aren't related to me or honestly in my friend group. So learning about her life is just not something that I care to do, but I'm curious if like this is a replacement best friend, because I saw a video and somebody was saying that. I don't really know. I will say the lip shades look nice, but I doubt they're gonna look that nice on me. I also like the liners pins. I think those are really cool, but nothing in this collection is something that I think will work for somebody of my complexion or is even really interesting. So it's easy pass for me. I was right about Nakia Joy. So she is coming out with a matte base primer for her brand. And so this is really, really exciting. The brand should now have this primer, powders, and lashes. To my knowledge, those are the only things that the brand has released to date. And what I would say is, I used to follow Nakia Joy. The types of brands that she really tends to showcase just aren't my thing. And so I just kind of unfollowed a lot of those people who weren't showing the brands that I was truly interested in. Regardless though, great creator. I really enjoy her content when I was watching it, and I truly trusted her then, and I still do trust her now. So I'm sure that this product she has tested out many a times on her skin. She not only has oily skin, she also lives in Australia, and I've been to Australia. It is beautiful, but the climate there is a lot more intense than it is here. So though I went to Australia, I think during their winter, I want to say, maybe. So I'm got a milder version of what they really have to go through. Regardless though, I would trust that this would actually work for you. The only reason I'm not going to pick it up is like I said, am trying to constrict the amount of purchases that I'm making and the cost of said purchases that I do make. And I also did just pick up a new primer, and you guys will have seen that on Saturday if I can get that video to render. I've been having a heck of a time getting that video to fully render correctly. So regardless though, this is not something that I need now, but I am interested for it in the future. Another collection from Wet n Wild is actually their Pride collection, and this, they have an eyeshadow palette. I don't really think the eyeshadow palette looks cute, but they also have sponges, what looks to be, what is that? A mascara, a liner, and a brush set. So I could see me genuinely getting that brush set, and once again the sponges. Those are the only two things I could see me getting, but once again I'm only going to get them if they're available in CVS and if I could pretty much get them for free. So, and I tend to stack up my points because I get like extra bucks and then, you know, $4 off of Wet n Wild or something crazy like that. And so you can just, like, you know, get things for free, or CVS will owe you, you know, cool things like that. So regardless, these are cute. I don't think they're, you know, ride or die. I won't live without them. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So this is actually a palette that I saw. What is her name? Laura Janae? Something Janae, I don't remember. If I can remember, I'll put it down below and on the screen so you guys can know the YouTuber, but I'll have the video linked down below. And this is a Catrice palette. This should be two palettes, yep, from their new kind of earth collection, where they're trying to help bring awareness to kind of being better to the environment and the earth overall. So the first palette is the Rainforest Haze, and the second palette is Sandy Days. Now, in her tutorial when she was showcasing the Sandy Days palette, she got frustrated because the darkest shade was actually a shimmer. And as I just said with the ABH palette, that is something that I just don't prefer either. And at this point, I have so much eyeshadow that yes, I could just reach into another, but also I could just not pick it up. So I'm gonna actually pass on both of these, and ultimately that will help the environment because that's one less person that has to drive to my house or wherever. That's also less packaging, even if it's recycled, etc., etc. So, you know, I'm helping the environment just like you guys want. ZC Cosmetics has come out with new quad color stories, and there are two quads, one that is more browny and the other one that's more mauve-y. I just don't get the vibe of this brand's packaging. Honestly, the packaging is creepy to me personally. Leave it like that. But you know, I guess it's cute. Some people think it's cute. It's $16 each, which is really, really cheap, but not something that I'm going to spend my money on. So easy pass for me. Nomad Cosmetics is still continuing to sneak peek their products, but they're going very, very slow with the sneak peek this year or this time around. And the launch date won't be happening until mid to end of June. And they've now showcased this, what looks to be maybe lip gloss. And it says celebrating this next destination and all of its Fetes. What is that? Maybe I should Google it before I make myself look stupid again on the internet. How do I spell this? Fetes.
Fate.
Haha, it's fate. Fates. Wow, Blake. Okay. And this is something to do with, it's a North America. Wait, what? It's a North America, it's a celebration or a festival. What language is that? I don't know, but I'm sure that was like the best hint that they could provide without giving it away. I don't really know. I'm lost in the sauce. I really am. But, oh, apparently it's France. Okay, France. Well, I'm excited. My answer was drastically incorrect. But I am excited to see the rest of the collection. Hopefully we can see it soon. I've heard that quite a few influencers already have the collection, but they're having difficulty getting the actual stock, I guess, for people to purchase. So intrigued. We'll see. Okay, so Makeup Revolution is doing a collaboration with Coca-Cola and is inspired by their new space flavored drink, which is called Intergalactic. I'm not a huge Coca-Cola fan, but when I was younger, I actually used to sneak some sips of my dad's. So my dad used to be a heavy Diet Coke fan, heavy, and he used to drink it pretty much constantly, almost every day. It was a bit much, right? But he used to leave like half open bottles in the fridge, and I used to sneak sips. And I don't know if it was like the guilty pleasure of sneaking somebody else's drink, or like the little bit of less carbonation and like the really nice refrigerated drink. I don't know what the combination was, but it was life. It was life. I used to love it in that moment. Any other moment, I didn't really like it. But anyways, I don't really drink Coke like that. Like, it's just not something that I do. They have 2 eyeshadow palettes. They have some lip glosses. They have a highlighter, they have a cosmetic bag, and they have a mascara. Overall, I think this is an easy pass for me. I don't buy a lot of Makeup Revolution, just because I just don't. I don't really know how it sticks. I just don't. I don't. So, Give Beauty from Gwen Stefani launched the new products that I tried to talk about and showcase last week. I had one in my cart. She was in my cart, but my cart was expensive. Let me tell you, Haus Labs is not a cheap brand, okay? And my purse was already trying to stay clutched, and then like trying to add that, and then the LYS, and then another pair of lashes. Things added up and things had to leave. So the lip products that I had from this extended range that were in my cart, I actually had to just put on my loves list for another day. But I am definitely interested. There is one that's like a brown peachy neutral in their matte range, which is called Lovable Me. And then in their satin range, there is an orange red that I thought I would really get a lot of use out of, which is Laura. I don't really know. So those were the 2 shades that I was going to pick up, but child, that cart total almost was like at 300 with all of the things that I really wanted, and that dog wasn't hunting. So I had to get rid of quite a few things, which is okay. And this was just one of them. But I will be picking up hopefully one of each line that I was interested in, hopefully in the future. So this is something that I had talked about a couple of weeks ago, I want to say. And this is Isamaya French's brand, which is Isamaya Beauty. So she is somebody who has helped to create a lot of luxury brands, beauties, ranges. And from that, she decided to pretty much create her brand. And I was really excited for the eyeshadow palette, and I was kind of halfway intrigued about everything else, but I was really only excited about the eyeshadow palette. The eyeshadow palette is over $100 in USD. Child, no, okay? That is just not something that I feel I can do right now. Like I said, I am not only trying to reduce the amount of purchases I make, but also the amount of money that I put towards beauty in general in these next 3 months. And this would take up like the whole makeup budget for the month. And one eyeshadow palette to take up the whole makeup budget, child, no. I will wait for Michelle Wong or somebody else to review it. I'll see the reviews. If they're interested in it, maybe I'll put it in the back of my head and maybe I'll pick it up in the future. But for right now, that is going to have to be a pass. Like I can't even think about potentially picking that up. No ma'am, no Pam. Pat McGrath has also sneak peeked that she is coming out with a limited edition mini palette, and this is for $29. What she did though is pretty much took 5 shades that are really popular from her previous palettes, put them in here, and then created one new shade. So For me, I think this is extremely smart for Pat McGrath. A lot of her smaller palettes were still very, very expensive. And a lot of people look at Pat McGrath being on the same level as Natasha Denona. And one thing that Natasha Denona previously had over Pat McGrath was the fact that she had those small little mini palettes that I believe were $25. And even though people say that there is definitely a different quality than are in her bigger palettes, it still allowed people to try out the brand, you know? And so just creating this palette, I think, is very, very helpful for those who have yet to physically try out the brand. That said, though, for me, it's not going to work out. I am going to pass easily and happily. I don't have all of the palettes, but I do have, I think, 2 out of the 3 palettes that you would need to get those 5 shades, and that's enough, right? That's enough. So I'm gonna pass, let alone, honestly, Pat McGrath does so many 30% off sales that I just can't justify picking up any of her stuff full price, which is another reason why I did not pick up any blushes. They launched today, earlier today. I didn't pick any up because I'm gonna wait, 1, for reviews. I want to see if any of the shades that are in her original line are duped out in that line. And then I'm just going to wait for a 30% off sale where I pick up quite a few things, because there are quite a few things that I'm interested in picking out from the brand, but I refuse to pay full price. If she's going to keep doing these 30% off sales, it just does not make any sense. Sydney Grace is coming out with brushes. So these actually look really, really nice. I believe these are synthetic brushes. Yep, they are synthetic brushes with wooden handles, and they are cruelty free. The introductory sale of the makeup brushes will be 30% off, and that sale will start June 13th and run through June 20th. And they have 2 sets available where you can get 5 brushes that are all for face, which is $50, 9 brushes that are all for eyes, which are $55, and then you can also just go ahead and get single brushes of your choosing. I really appreciate that they allow you the variety of combinations. For me, I am interested in picking up some brushes. I think their eye brushes all look really nice and intriguing, although I don't know about that one in the dead center. I don't know if I would get any use out of that one. The face brushes, based on what I see, I don't think any of those shapes would be revolutionary for my collection. So maybe what I would do is just get the eyeshadow bundle, eye brush bundle, but I do want to support. So hopefully I can remember and make it. And if you're wondering, does it say the code? It doesn't say a code, so maybe you don't need one. I don't know, but if I get any more information before the sale, I will go ahead and let you guys know. So Gourmand Girls Cosmetics is sneak peeking a new palette, and this is their Radioactive palette. And they are slowly going to be showing the inside, and it looks like it is going to become available Tuesday. So that's quite quick, and they've shown us the first row, which is all shimmers, and these are all said to be duochromes and multi-chromes. So I'm intrigued. Hopefully by next week I will have seen the whole palette, and I can kind of give you guys my opinions on the whole palette as a whole. So Nails Inc., which is a brand that I've seen on, I want to say Ulta and Sephora, are doing a collaboration with Velveeta. I hate Velveeta cheese. Hate it with a passion. It is not cheese. I don't care what you say. Not cheese. Okay. And apparently you can get different one polish duo for $15 and stickers. So the polishes are cheese scented, and the nail stickers are $4.99. This is not something for me at all. Girl, I'm lactose intolerant. Okay. Bye. Bye. Essence Makeup is coming out with a new range. It looks like kind of visiting different places for the summer. So one is a Rome palette, one is a Miami palette, and one is a London palette. They also look to have 4 different lip balm shades and some highlighters, mascaras. There's quite a bit of stuff going on with this range. A lot of stuff. Oh, they have a whole nother palette on the next page. Okay. I think that out of the 3 palettes in this first picture, it's going to definitely be the Miami that I would be more intrigued by. Am I going to pick it up? Probably not. This second picture, it looks cute, but I don't feel like I've ever heard anything good about Essence's eyeshadow quality. So I don't know if I'm gonna make that, you know, one of my few purchases for the season. I know the highlighters and the face products aren't going to be deep enough for me, so I'm not going to even play myself. And the nail polish, yeah, no, no ma'am, no Pam. So yeah, there's not much in this collection overall that I'm interested in. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a blanket, I'm just not going to purchase, period, the end. ABH is also extending their bronzer range. So they're adding 3 different bronzers, and I guess for my deep complexion, so they're adding a warm tan, a terracotta, and a deep tan. If you're wondering, I'm actually wearing the ABH cream bronzer today, and I have it in the shade Hazelnut. On my complexion, it doesn't look extremely deep. So I'm learning that there is worth having 1 or 2 bronzers with very similar depths to my skin tone but slightly different undertones. And so for that reason, I'm not going to pick up another shade of this ABH cream bronzer. But I do want to highlight the fact that Ulta just released the ABH cream highlighters. So in the event that you were interested in those are now available on Ulta's website, and for me that is something that's really, really intriguing, and I would love to pick it up. I've enjoyed every other cream product from ABH to date, and I don't have very many cream highlighters that I can recommend to you all, and I do kind of want to bolster that category a little bit. So Sol de Janeiro came out with some new scents, and I am extremely intrigued by all 3. But if I had to choose one to pick like right now, it would be the Cheirosa Sea and Soul. And that is because it is described as being a juicy citrus and an ocean musk. I have been obsessed with musk scents lately, and so that is just calling my name. I also watched quite a few reviews, and people have said that the tan lines and the tropical nights aren't super unique, and so for that reason I don't want to keep picking up scents that are very similar. That is one thing that I'm not going to do, and that's why I'm slowing down my purchasing, because I really need to take the time to smell these, because a lot of these are smelling very similar to the point where I don't need one if I have the other. So that's interesting, but I'm not sure. The Westmill Atelier Vital Pressed Skincare Blurring Talc Free Setting Powder, $75. I don't got it. I know I said I wanted to try Westmill Atelier, and I do, but child, no, I don't got it. It's full price right now. Maybe in the new year, not right now. And then Kosas is coming out with lip liners. I'm not one to really kind of hoard lip liners, although I have, so that's why I'm kind of project panning through them all. And I'm not also intrigued for the next newest lip liner. So that is something that I can easily pass on. Copacetic Cosmetics is doing a collaboration with Pan de Replay, and this is called the Bookish Beauty Palette. It makes sense. She does do a lot of project panning around books, so it makes perfect sense that she is doing this. And it's going to be available for $40. You can get 10% off with her code, which is Pan de Replay, and it's going to be available June 19th at 11 EST. I think this is a cute palette. I don't know if it's something that I feel I have to pick up, but I also would love to support her. She is somebody, I don't even know how I started following her on Instagram. I just did, and I enjoy her. I enjoy her content, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not fully convinced one way or the other. So if you have some opinions, definitely go ahead and shout them out down in the comments below. Victoria Beckham Beauty is coming out with their Reflect Highlighter Stick. This is $42. It is glitter-free. It is a glitter-free glow. It is ultra high dimension cream highlighter for the impeccable, fresh, gloss-like glow. And it's supposed to be able to work on all skin tones. It looks really pretty on the model, the deep model, skin model that they showcase. But it also looks very... From what I can gather from this brand, right, it is a no makeup brand. Nothing bad about it, but it is. And so I don't need that. That's not my style. I like makeup. okay? And even if it's like a lighter coverage of makeup, that's fine, but this looks like you're basically not putting any makeup on, and I don't have time for that. I don't. More updates for Glaminatrix Cosmetics. So this is the Nearly Natural palette, and it is available to pre-order on Sunday, July 3rd at 8 a.m. AEST. I don't know what that means, but they will take about 6 to 8 weeks to ship. And it's going to cost 70 AUD and 50 USD. There are 8 sparkling shimmers and 7 smooth mattes, and the pans are 26 millimeters. I'm extremely excited to see this palette and to pick it up. I'm definitely picking it up. This was always one of the products that I knew I was going to pick up during this like low buy, no buy situation, and it still is. I'm still very, very much excited to pick her up. Elf is coming out with some Luminous putty blushes. I do have one blush from their putty range, and I did review it. I thought it was okay, not earth shattering, and for that reason I'm not going to pick up another shade, but I will say the orange one in the middle does look cool, but I just, you know, I've already tried the range. I didn't particularly love it, so why continue to get more from it? Something that was spotted in the European Sephora is a new product from Fenty, and these are her Toasted Swirl Bronze Shimmer Powders, and 2 different shades. One, it is in Swirl Chocolate, the other that is in Swirl Pecan. I don't know much about it. I don't know how much pigmentation there is, how much, I don't really know. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nomad Cosmetics has talked about the fact that they are kind of getting rid of quite a bit of the accessories that are available in their store when it's associated with the stained glass collection. So in the event that you are interested, it looks like all of that remaining stock, specifically for the brushes, are 40% off right now. So I would say run, not walk, if you are interested in those, and maybe even the bag and everything. So pretty much all the accessories associated with that stained glass collection, if you want it, it's on a deep discount, so go get it, girl. The other stuff is that their fruit lighters will be restocking very, very soon. It says 3 p.m. EDT, so I'm assuming it already restocked, and this post was done yesterday, the day that I'm filming this, so it would be last Thursday for you guys if you see it on Sunday. So overall, really, really cool. And yeah, we're cool. So I talked about this last week. Merrabeauty Co. was doing the collaboration with, what is their name? I forgot again. Devereaux Banx. And they've showcased the palette now, and it is a really pretty palette. It really is, and I love the message behind it, and I love kind of why they did it, and I love it all. I really do, but it's not a palette for me. It's not a unique color story to me, and so for that reason I am just going to go ahead and pass. But congratulations, it looks really nice. A couple more things and then we are finally done. This has been a long episode. Too Faced is coming out with new concealers, 18 shades. That's all we know. We don't really see much, but this packaging looks vaguely familiar to me. Oh yeah, I zoomed in a little bit. This is gonna be a Born This Way, or Born, what is the name of it? Yeah, Born This Way concealer. So stay tuned. If you like that foundation, I did. I actually had to throw mine away because it was so old and so dark, but I really did enjoy the texture of that foundation. So maybe when this release, I'll maybe pick up another foundation and another concealer. Sephora is launching a glow version of their Better Skin Ever foundation, and I never did take the time to try the first version, which was more mattifying, but maybe I'll wait for reviews to see if this glowing version is more skin-like. I do prefer a more skin-like finish, but then again, I don't really need to buy too many foundations. That was my problem a couple of years ago. I bought way too many, and even as I've slowly gone through them, they're getting bad, you know, so we'll see what happens, but I am intrigued by that. NYX Cosmetics is coming out with some liquid eyeshadows, and they are available at Ulta, and these are their Ultimate Glow Shot Vitamin C Infused Liquid Eyeshadows. They're supposed to last up to 12 hours, and they're 13 shades, and they're $10.50 each. I'm not into a lot of stuff like this, but I also did pick up some from House Labs. I don't know, I'm intrigued. There are a couple of shades that look interesting. Maybe if I can get these for little to no money from CVS again, we'll see, or for free using my Ulta points. And then the last thing that I saw literally today was the fact that Unearthly Cosmetics showcased that they are going to be slightly changing their In the Dark palette. That was a palette that I wanted to pick up. It was only sold in the bundle and I just didn't want the bundle. I didn't like the bundle, so I didn't get it. And so yeah, that is something that I am very, very intrigued to see how they're going to change it. That said though, I know there's still more stuff coming day in and day out. I know there's always makeup coming out. I literally just moved to my home screen and I saw a new product showcased by Trim Mood, but I'm gonna wait till next week. That said, I feel like I've done really good this week, and truly the one thing that really made me allow myself to make the 2 purchases that I made was that they were not stress related purchases or kind of irrational purchases. I knew what I was picking up and I felt confident that they were something that I was going to get use out of. So that's something that I'm moving forward to, and honestly that was the main reason for me kind of going on that 3-month hiatus, in addition to some other things that are no longer factors. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.